The fifth episode begins with Kaoru taking a bath, during which she finds a clump of hair in the drain that moves. She starts to cry out of the sheer horror of it. Soon, the clump of hair develops into a monstrous figure and ends the scene. Later that day, Hikaru and Yoshiki are seen volunteering in a restaurant kitchen where everyone is learning to fry chicken. Hikaru catches up with Yoshiki and shows him the chicken his team burnt. When they return to school, they hide in an empty classroom where Hikaru urges Yoshiki to feel his insides again. He unbuttons his shirt and allows Yoshiki's hand to pass through his chest. Suddenly, the dark matter within him starts grabbing onto Yoshiki's arm. It slowly wraps itself around Yoshiki's arm and half of his face, so Yoshiki pulls his hand out immediately. That day, the two hang out with a mutual friend named Maki, after which Yoshiki asks Hikaru to eat the thing that showed up in their bathroom. Yoshiki gets sucked into the water in the bathtub and foresees some disturbing stuff. Hikaru arrives on time and saves him from drowning. Still unconscious, he encounters disturbing images of human-sized brains mocking and laughing at him. He also sees a flashback of his childhood in which he fought Hikaru over their dead pet bird named Crowley. When he wakes up to reality, he finds himself drowning and biting Hikaru. Luckily, Hikaru removes the wig ghost from his mind, due to which Yoshiki is able to regain consciousness. That evening, Hikaru spends time with Yoshiki's family and has dinner with them. The ending of the episode reveals a creature that Tanaka has summoned to track down Hikaru. Episode 6 opens with Yoshiki pondering alone in his classroom. His friends, Asako and Maki, arrive to give him some company, during which they come across a pamphlet folded between Yoshiki's books. The pamphlet turns out to be containing the tale of a swamp man, whose story fully resembles with Hikaru's current situation. The story resonates with Yoshiki to the point where he begins questioning Hikaru's existence and the meaning of life itself. Later that day, Hikaru socializes with his friends, who desperately wish to go on a vacation. Hence, he volunteers to arrange a sleepover at his house and tags Yoshiki along with the arrangements. The following day, Yoshiki and Hikaru's bicycles break down on their way back home, so they hitch a ride from a known villager. The same night, Tanaka's spirit shows outside Hikaru's high school after sensing his presence. In the meantime, all the friends have fun catching up at Hikaru's sleepover, except Yoshiki, who distances himself in Hikaru's father's room. There, he finds the father's cap, which ignites a very sweet childhood memory in his mind. Hikaru continues to tidy up the father's room, during which he finds a note in the bookshelf, which he pockets immediately. Outside, the friends light up sparklers and giggle together until their lighter breaks. Asako decides to buy a new one and asks Hikaru to accompany her on her way. When the two of them walk alone, Asako starts talking about her psychic grandmother, who foresaw Yuki's accident and helped prevent it. All of a sudden, Hikaru's eyes gleam red, and he attempts to kill Asako. Lucky for her, Yoshiki busts Hikaru in time, due to which he stops. Asako faints momentarily, during which Hikaru nervously admits that he has trouble differentiating between life and death. He also admits to killing the old woman from the show's beginning, hearing which, Yoshiki becomes sick to his stomach and throws up. When Asako regains consciousness, she accuses Hikaru of being possessed, yet she senses that Hikaru doesn't want to hurt Yoshiki even when he's possessed. Yoshiki apologizes to Asako and helps her walk back home. The next morning, while Hikaru ponders the concept of life and death, Yoshiki comes to pick him up for school as per usual. Episode 7 begins with Yoshiki waking up from disturbing nightmares revolving around Hikaru and the current events he has caused. He gets ready and walks to school with Hikaru. On his way, he convinces Yoshiki to ditch school since there will be a choir competition taking up all their classes.
You have 10 seconds to get more snacks and like the video. You shouldn't play with terror.
On the contrary, we see Asako in the school, still dissociating and not responding to Yuki's greetings. Together, the two get mortified to see their class boys, who plan on adding dance and rap to their singing performance. Amidst all this, all the friends note the absence of Yoshiki and Hikaru, who are currently seen boarding a train. Hikaru finally asks Yoshiki if he is mad at him for attacking Asako, but Yoshiki assures him that's not the case. For a brief moment, we also see Yoshiki's mother, who is finally driving her younger daughter to school to put an end to the nasty gossip about their dysfunctional family. Back on Yoshiki's side, he takes Hikaru to see a movie. While the two watch movies and hang out in the convenience store, the school's choir competition begins, and all the students are seen performing. After spending the entire day outside, Yoshiki brings Hikaru back to his place, where he hands him his phone to watch the choir performance of their friends. As Hikaru gets invested in the video, Yoshiki takes a knife out of his bag and jabs it in Hikaru's chest. Despite his best efforts, Hikaru doesn't get fatally injured. Yoshiki becomes disappointed and asks Yoshiki to stab him instead, since he doesn't want the two of them to be together anymore. He also admits that he had been planning on killing him for a long time, which is why he spent an entire day with him, to make his last day the happiest day of his life. Since Hikaru has developed feelings for Yoshiki, he refuses to stab him. Instead, he squeezes out half of his insides and offers them to Yoshiki to let him know that he has become weak and less of a danger now. When Hikaru expresses how he has been enjoying life because of Yoshiki's acceptance, Yoshiki changes his mind once again and decides to do proper research on the entity that is hosting Hikaru's body. Episode 8 begins with Yoshiki browsing the internet for ways to clean Hikaru's bloodied shirt. Once he's done with the sweet gesture, he shows Hikaru the note he took from his father's room. The note reveals the term Nuki-sama. They recall Mrs. Matsura chanting this term often, but don't understand what it means. Hence, Hikaru takes the note to his mentally unstable grandfather, who says nonsensical things about a murder village and abruptly dozes off. Later on, Yoshiki has an awkward encounter with Asako and learns that she has become deaf in one ear. When Hikaru arrives, Yoshiki tells him about Asako's ear deafening, which makes him reflect on his actions and feel sorry for Asako. When they attend their first class, an old man appears outside their windows and takes his life. Weird theories begin going around among the students. Asako also takes part in the conspiracy and blames Hikaru for all the abnormal occurrences in their village, believing that they started happening ever since Hikaru's return from the mountain. When the classes are dismissed after the suicide incident, Hikaru and Yoshiki head to the library and look for maps of the areas surrounding their village. The librarian turns out to be Mrs. Matsura's daughter, who immediately picks up on the term Nuki-sama. She shares with the boys that Nuki-sama was a god who used to bless people, but after a nasty famine, he became the god who cursed people. After school, when the boys head home, Yoshiki promises to stick by Hikaru's side no matter what. The same night, Tanaka visits someone named Hajime and drops a weird scripture for his father. On his way back home, he passes by Yoshiki by coincidence. His hamster senses the latter, so Tanaka approaches Yoshiki and gets to know him over their mutual love for hamsters. Seeing the bruises on Yoshiki's wrist, Tanaka immediately figures that he has become mixed with the entity. He lets Yoshiki go so he can tail him to find the main source, Hikaru. At night, the boys hang out at a diner, where they are attacked by the same kind of creature they previously found in Yoshiki's bathroom. Hikaru is already weak after giving half of his insides to Yoshiki, so he collapses. Luckily, Rie pops up out of nowhere and rescues the boys. Do you think Hikaru is truly gone? Or do you believe something even darker has taken his place in the Summer Hikaru Died Season 2? Share your comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more awesome horror.